Whether you're willing to admit it or not, the Zombies blueprint has been the same for just about as long as the modes existed. There have been some huge improvements since World at War, like the addition of perks, Easter eggs, and an ever-expanding narrative. But at the end of the day, you are clearing hordes of zombies wave after wave until you die. Treyarch has tried a few different ways to bring a breath of fresh air into the mode over the years, some that have been well received and others that have left a fierce division in the community. Black Ops 6 is in an interesting spot where players aren't satisfied with only receiving new maps, and when a new map doesn't drop, they act like they've been betrayed. Season 4 marks the first time in BO6's lifecycle that a proper new mode has been introduced that isn't just a limited time seasonal event. On top of that, it's a mode that hasn't been available since Black Ops 2, which helps bring a bit of that nostalgia back to the mode without having to rely on perks or maps. But can a single mode actually reignite players' passions for zombies who have already burned themselves out, with another COD title getting closer to release later this year? Grief is a 4v4 competitive mode that restricts zombies maps to small locations throughout Liberty Falls, Terminus, Citadel, the Tomb, and Shattered Vale. The rounds progress a bit quicker than normal and introduce challenges allowing teams to compete for the chance to grief the opponents. These debuffs, and there's a lot of them, come in the form of things like temporary movement slows, weapon nerfs, and even the chance to have your selected weapon rotate out for a randomized one. While you can't do any damage to enemy players, you can certainly be a nuisance by shooting or meleeing opponents to make it difficult for them to fight back or even revive teammates. There's always going to be some novelty when a mode you love playing, such as zombies, introduces a new way to play that flips the mode on its head. Not only are you competing against another team, but the tactics you would normally use, like training or leaving crawlers, aren't an option. However, while the first few matches were super engaging and a lot of fun, that joy quickly goes away if you're a solo player and getting ganged up on by a 4-stack with collie sticks. Competing for zombies kills, staying within the objective zones, and trying to complete the challenges before the enemy team is a lot of fun and brings a bit of chaotic action to the mode that can feel incredibly repetitive as a veteran player. But I also noticed that my teammates were quick to disconnect or not play the objective at all, and it led to me losing interest quickly. When a mode is built upon cooperation, the fun can quickly break down if you feel like you're being left out to dry by your teammates. While I'm not expecting the same level of coordination and grief as I would with ranked hardpoint, it does quickly take away the fun aspect that the novelty can't keep going after a couple of matches. And it's not like there's new maps for Grief that we can explore, it's just smaller versions of maps we've played hundreds of rounds on previously. Unfortunately, I don't see a scenario where this changes, and I certainly understand players who are frustrated with the lack of gameplay fixes still outstanding while they're seeing Treyarch focus on a mode that the whole community wasn't necessarily asking for. Don't get me wrong, I'm very happy with zombies this year, and honestly, I think when we look back at the content we were given in Black Ops 6, it will go down as a top 5 zombies game. It would be insane to put it top 3, but I think the 4 or 5 spot is reasonable. That being said, can Grief save Black Ops 6 and bring tens of thousands of players back to zombies? I just don't see it. We're at the point in Black Ops 6's lifecycle where people are done with the camo grind who wanted to do that. Anyone who hadn't played zombies in a while and just wanted to get a taste for the mode again has already done so, and players who are just interested in checking out the new maps for the Easter eggs will come back each season to play the maps a few times. The core audience will always be there to play on a daily or weekly basis, but I don't see a mode like Grief smoothing over all of the issues that the players left have raised. I think players will always want something new, something they haven't had, or something they miss, and a mode like Grief doesn't really check any of those boxes. It's fun for an hour or two, and I think everyone should try it out, but for your average player, it's not something that's going to hook them into zombies. It's always tough this time of year to retain players, especially with so many other options for people to dump time into. I know once a COD has been out for 6 months, I can feel a little burnt out on it and start to look for other games in my backlog that I've been putting off. If you haven't given it a shot, try out Grief and let me know if you think I'm missing the mark on anything. If you want a full history on Treyarch taking risks in zombies, click the video on your left. For all my zombies content, check out the playlist on the right.